Ms. Manuela Armich is an attorney at law with more than 25 years of experience in commercial banking and financial law, along with deeply being engaged in systematic legal reforms and regulatory integrity in Serbia. Professional background in government institutes and financial sector reform provides a strong foundation for addressing today's digital threats, particularly online fraud, misinformation, and identity manipulation, where legal certainty and technological tools must work together. Through her work in Privatization Agency and Deposit Insurance Agency, Ms. Armich contributed to strengthening market transparency, investor confidence, and institutional accountability. She later advised on internationally funded reform projects, including an IBRD-supported deposit insurance strengthening project, gaining hands-on experience in risk management, fraud prevention, and regulatory compliance, core pillars in combating digital fakes and online abuse. Her academic background reinforces this forward-looking perspective. Ms. Armich holds a law degree and bar qualification from Serbia and a master's degree in European integration with a thesis on WTO rules and trade policies, as well as advanced studies in EU law, competition, and commercial regulation. She further specialized in technology-driven legal innovation through a diploma in global business at Zaid Business School, University of Oxford, where her work focused on remote law and technological innovation in legal services. Today, Ms. Armich combines legal expertise, international education, and technological awareness to advocate the use of AI as a key tool in protecting digital trust, from detecting financial fraud and fake content to supporting regulatory enforcement and consumer protection. Her career reflects a clear message. The fight against online fakes is not only a technological challenge, but a legal and institutional one, and AI is central to that fight.
Thank you for joining us to this panel, and I'm really honored to take part with all these honorable people. So, considering the AI, we should say that it should be considered as a key tool in fight against fakes on the internet. So the fight against fakes on the internet has become one of the official directions of the global agenda and has been included in the package of the UN Sustainable Development Goals for 2026. This decision arose not as a political gesture, but as the recognition that this information has become a real infrastructural threat to the world order comparable to climate change or epidemiological risks. In the era of digital communication, fakes are capable of destroying social institutions, undermining trust between states, radicalizing population groups, and influencing real political processes. They make the world more fragile, creating the illusion of omniscience and instant factual evolution, while reality becomes increasingly complex and demands deeper attention. This is why the United Nations emphasizes that work with disinformation should be considered part of global security, the protection of human dignity, and the support of international dialogue. Modern fakes possess a fundamentally new nature. They are no longer just false statements circulating on the periphery of public attention. They have turned into an independent type of digital phenomenon arising from a combination of emotions, algorithms, and political tensions. Journalism, which was meant to ensure a quality filter and fact-checking, often finds itself drawn into a competition for attention. This forces editorial offices to publish materials faster, more emotionally, more contrastively, making them vulnerable to manipulation. The internet ecosystem amplifies this effect. Any bright narrative, even if completely false, receives energy through recommendation algorithms, reposts, and the chain reactions of comments. Thus, a fake stops being a communication error. It becomes a mechanism of social influence aimed at generating specific advantageous reactions. This dynamic is especially noticeable with public figures of global scale, those who are simultaneously bearers of political power, symbol of the collective, unconscious, and object of endless attention. If we take a look, for example, on public figures Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Vladimir Putin, and Serbia Bojan Karic, they all belong to the completely different spheres, yet they are united by one thing. Each of them has become the epicenter of hundreds and thousands of fake stories, created both to discredit it or to glorify them. Around such figures, disinformation multiplies faster than usual because the audience reacts to their image at the level of archetypes, power, risk, unpredictability, wealth, influence. A fake constructed upon an archetypal expectation is instantly perceived as plausible because it fits into a collective fantasy. I'll try to shorten my speech as much as possible, so I skip some areas, even though they are very interested, but let's focus on artificial intelligence. As a main tool, and contrary to the common fear, AI can play not the role of source of fakes, but the role of an instrument for neutralizing them. It allows analyzing the structure of a false message on a level unavailable to humans, detecting anomalies in stylistic, analyzing probabilistic relations between facts, identifying digital traces of manipulation, and reconstructing original data. Unlike traditional fact-checking, AI works not only with content, but also with audience behavior. It captures which type of messages cause abnormal acceleration of dissemination, which accounts act synchronously, and which sources form quasi-network structures of disinformation injections. This makes the detection of fakes not reactive, but predictive. The system can recognize not the embryo of disinformation way before it becomes massive. Through the example of Trump-related fakes, AI can detect recurring patterns typical of attempts to manufacture an artificial political standard. Unusual timing, coincidences of publication, atypical verbal constructions, characteristic of content factories, and sharp spikes in activity from newly created accounts. In the case of Max, the system often identifies the appearance of revolutionary announcement, that they have no source inside his companies, but are designed to mimic a real communication style of Tesla or SpaceX. The algorithm compares the tone of the text with a huge corpus of Musk's authentic statement and immediately sees the unnatural deviation. Similar tools apply to Putin, where AI can track overlaps between sources publishing materials, reflecting the strategic interests of certain states. Work with fakes about Bogoljub Karic reveals local network clusters generating narratives about business, politics, and finance that lack factually grounding but spread through repeating pseudo-journalist channels. In this way, AI exposes mechanisms that previously remained invisible and enables public expertise on the origin of information. Another important function of artificial intelligence is its ability to create a space of trust. It becomes a mediator between journalism, society, and the expert community, identifying fake patterns of the future architecture of media security. Ideally, AI not only detects falsehood, but helps cultivate a culture of resilient information perception. Globally, the fight against fakes becomes not a technical task, but a humanitarian and civilization one. Thank you.
Thank you very much.